Hey everybody, welcome back to the Electronics Workshop. Justin down here doing nerdy things like usual. Today I wanted to get through a few more items that I've had sitting on the shelf that needed to be just kind of cleaned up and tested out, verified that everything's good to go on them. But on this case, I have the Realistic TRC-474, which is a 40-channel AM only CB radio. It was manufactured from 1988 to 1989 at a first year sale price of $139.95. So that was a pretty expensive little radio for its day. Of course, it's standard 12-volt battery operation. It had some really interesting and nice key features to kind of point out, and those being, so we have regular CB operation here. We have middle selection, which is monitor, which allows you to both listen with the internal speaker and have an external, like your PA speaker outside under your hood, wherever on your vehicle, that you could use that to also listen to the CB. It also has just a straight PA, so you can use that for just kind of yelling at people outside of your vehicle. It has another option here, which is the automatic noise limiter. It's kind of like a noise reduction feature that just cuts down on some of that harshness and hash that comes through with staticky signals. So that's really nice. It actually works really well too. It has the emergency channel 9 selector here as well, so if you need to get to channel 9 in a hurry, you can just flip the switch. Screen goes blank, but the LED for channel 9 lights up for you. Let's zoom in just to get a little better look at this radio. So that's kind of handy. Great for just going priority to channel 9. Since we're moving across here, we have 3 LEDs on the top. We have a modulation LED. When that LED starts to light up and glow, you are near or at 100% modulation, so that just kind of gives you an idea of how your audio is doing and make sure that you are producing audio. So we'll just demonstrate that real quick. Hello, 1 2 3. Hello, 1 2 3. 1 2 3. Audio. So you can see that lights up. The bottom scale lights up when you're doing full RF power. Just lets you know that you are doing that. There's also an AWI LED on here, and the AWI is actually antenna warning indicator. A lot of people have kind of pointed out that it's AW1. Well, it's not AW1, it's AWI, antenna warning indicator. So if your antenna is damaged, the SWR is too high, or you forgot to connect your antenna, this LED will light up letting you know that something is wrong. So that's just kind of a nice little dummy light to let you know, hey, you should probably check that. Of course, we already saw that it has the channel 9 LED indicator to let you know that you're on that priority channel. We have an S meter from 3 S units to 9 S units, and then one last LED for the over S9. So it's not the needle type meter, but this was kind of a popular thing for its day with the LED, because LEDs were kind of the fancy new thing-ish. They were expensive. So this was primo right there. Of course, we have our standard red segment display for 1 through 40 channel. We have our volume adjustment here, so our power and volume, squelch control, RF gain, which is another nice addition for a radio of this size. You can, for close by or signals that are really overpowering, you have the ability to limit the RF coming into the radio to keep it from blowing out the front end, not blowing it out like physically, but to limit the amount of RF coming into the radio, which can make receiving signals a little bit easier as well. It has a tone control as well. Now that is kind of a feature that you don't normally see of a radio like this. This is going to give you the ability to adjust the sound or tone of the stations that you are receiving. So very, very nice to have that. That's very handy. On the back side of the radio, we have two standard 3.5 tip sleeve style connections for your PA speaker, as well as your external speaker for in the vehicle. So if you don't want to run the internal speaker, you can run an external speaker. That does work. Cleaned it, works very, very well. And then we have, of course, just our standard coaxial UHF type connector on the back. Pretty much standard throughout the entire range of anything CB radio, and mostly ham radio as well. So it's actually a pretty feature-packed little radio for its size. I do currently have this one paired up with it's a compatible for Realistic powered microphone. So this was kind of one of those mics that you would buy as like a day 2 upgrade for getting a power microphone. This one does sound really, really nice. It's not really a name brand one. It was mostly sold around the 80s and 90s, I would suspect, as a truck stop upgrade. This one was already wired for Realistic, so kept the sticker on there, of course. It takes a single AA battery, which is really nice that you don't have to deal with a 9-volt. It sounds really, really good too, which is a real peak or perk to having this type of microphone. Nice little adjustment right there on top. I found keeping it at about level 2 or setting 2 for this radio seems to work out really well. I may or may not include that microphone with this radio. I haven't quite decided. I do have the original microphone, but I just have to verify that they are in function. Needs to be cleaned, thoroughly tested. But that would be the microphone that would have come with the radio, as well as I have another Realistic microphone that would be what would be appropriate to pair with it. So nice little radio. It does its standard 5 watts, 4 watts of output. So we'll just check here. Hello. It's actually peaking up to almost 10 watts, which is pretty amazing. So does good work. It's actually not a bad little radio. It would fit the look of a person who wants to put this in a classic car and have that small radio, CB radio look. Or if you're a Radio Shack Realistic enthusiast, it's a good example of a radio for you. The only downside with this unit, somebody had drilled holes in the top. Not really sure why. They probably didn't have the bracket, so they screwed it down to something, and that was that. So there are 3 holes drilled in the top of this radio that were used for mounting something. I don't know. Either way, they're in there. There's no damage. They must have took the cover off of the radio to do that, because they didn't drill into the board, so that's good news. But it is definitely one of those things. This is likely not the correct bracket for this radio, but it's the bracket that I had that fit this radio, and then I did have a pair of chrome bracket knobs that kind of fit and look nice. I need to put some spacers on either side of the bracket to make it fully correct, but yeah, it's not a bad little radio. I'll be finishing the prep and cleanup on this, check the frequency stability, make sure it's on frequency, make sure I don't have to do anything with it, and I'll put together an eBay listing and try to find some interest on it. There are a few other ones that are out listed right now, but I think this one should sell for a price that I'm happy with. I don't really have anything into it other than just some time at the moment, but I think if I do pair it with the power microphone, that might be a selling point for it. So hope you guys enjoyed sharing this nerdy moment with me, and we'll catch you in the next one. Later for now. 7-3, goodbye, and come again.